Good day, beautiful people. Hope the weather's treating you well. I know it's been hot in some parts of the world. And sending kind thoughts to all that are a little warm. We're doing pretty well here on the West Coast. Thank you. So today we're going to talk about the parallel worlds of now. We could go into great detail about possibilities around that. Some of you have been with me for a while and know that as part of the totality body, we we actually outlined parallel worlds as one of those 80 sections of that make up our totality. And that's a subject for a future time for those of you who have been with us. But parallel worlds exist, whether you want to consider it as a physicist or you want to consider it as a shaman or an esotericist or a spiritual seeker. Parallel worlds exist, and I've seen them. And I'm sure some or all of you have had that experience. And even when we go to um, go into our work, we're accessing a parallel version of a reality possibility. So here's the deal. I mean, we're going to talk about this in a lot of different ways because it almost takes different approaches to get it. Because it's big. We're just really, we're really embodied and embroiled in 3D. Why wouldn't we be? It's all we've ever known. If you were one of those people who've taken a lot of hallucinogenics, either recently or back in the day, you might see differently. But for those of us who kind of are moving along a path and have responsibilities and things like that, we're really entrusted to this life manifestation. So, yeah, you're living on 3D Earth, but newsflash, really 5D Earth is here now. It's not just like, well, we could go meditate and and go into 5D consciousness. No, 5D Earth is here right now. It is right here right now. It's just a turn of the dial. And we're going to talk about that. So these two realities are existing simultaneously. And then my guess is that because of the path that you're on and because of all the work that you have done, you're living in both worlds. So I talked to a friend yesterday and she's like, oh my gosh, I'm so exhausted. And I talked to so and so and they said they're so exhausted. And I'm going to tell you, I went through a period of time about a well, actually, from a year and a half ago to about 6, 7, 8 months ago, I was really exhausted. And finally, I determined through the help of a friend that I was engaging and learning to be comfortable in 5D, but had a lot of 3D pull downs, I'm going to say, responsibilities and just things that I had to deal with. And so what that does is if you're really stretched into 3D and you're really asserting your intent to up level and to become 5D consciousness here on the planet, that can be a big stretch. So if you're feeling fatigue, this very well might be your issue. Now, what's the solution? Well, we're going to go through some things here. And I'm just going to say practice makes perfect. This is what is up. Practice makes perfect. And you're going to hear me repeat things and go, well, she talked about that 3 times ago. Well, I'm going to keep pulling it together with nuance. And my intention is that some of those nuances are a click for you. the individual and click for us in the IC. So 3D, okay. We can say, well, 3D is this table and this room and things, but really 3D is what we're concerned with is it's ego-based, it's fear-based, it's controlling, it's really that instinct to survive and to do whatever you have to do in the moment out of survival rather than out of taking care of yourself. It can be very competitive and not in a healthy way. So going and doing the sports and doing your best, that's a good kind of competition. That's just doing your best. But being competitive with another person, not so great. Materialistic, must have, must have, must have. Reactive, attached to the past. And this idea of the worst is going to happen. The worst is going to happen. Paranoia, judging yourself or others or things or situations. Just wrote a big chapter on that, being self-righteous. And then there's always that beautiful conditional love. Oh, I love you so much. Um, so, you know, 3D is a pull. It's really a pull. And it's very familiar, although don't all those things, as I mentioned them, don't they make you kind of uncomfortable? Well, part of it is it's not you, and part of it it's an illusion. And part of it is all those things, you're either in a challenge or a situation or not getting what you want, you're in ego reaction and challenges are coming up on a daily basis. Unless you're able to ride that sine wave that we've talked about. And the feeling that I get is that in certain moments, it's kind of like a pull down. Now, I could just judge myself and say, hey, what's wrong with you? How come you're feeling a little this and that? Or I could go, hey, there's still aspects of this 3D illusion that I've not woken up to yet. And this pull down is giving me the info. Hey, notice. So I'm down here and I go, oh, okay. And then what do I have to do? And then I ask the question. And then I start to use our spiritual hacks. And I use them throughout the day. Trust me, I do. And I have a very beautiful life, but little things here and there. And sometimes it's internally generated, shall we say, because we have things that are still in us that we haven't worked through. And so it's like, oh, good, nice little beautiful space here. Okay, now I feel safe to let this one come up. And so if everything's going okay and you still get these things coming up, it's normal. This is your unlayering process. Okay, so the 5D process, the 5D frequency, it's a spiral now. And we're used to going straight lines because that saves time to take a straight line. But 5D really is it's that curve. And if we are attached to going in that ego straight line, I'm going to tell you, you yourself will come along as you're going in that straight line and it'll go like this. It'll knock you. So you move towards the curving spiral. And then you go a little further, but no, I'm not going to learn that lesson now. I got things to do. Now come along and go, boing, and there you are, moving towards that again. Now, sometimes on the third one, sometimes you get three things and then you get the big wall up. If you're just ignoring it because no, you're better. No, you need. No, I've got to. You're gonna get the like that. And then You have to go, okay. You have to surrender. And, surrender is just this big, beautiful word that has always meant something not so great. And now we go, no, it's really great because it is, in order to stay on that spiral, there's these moment to moment choices to surrender, right? Like where you go, okay, okay, yes, whatever you say, okay. So to track this spiral now, we've got to align with its flow. So it's subtly shifting in this clockwise and ascending manner. And this is an image and it is, something that we could say we're just aligning with the idea of it, but no, actually, we're spiraling through space. We're living in this giant, giant spiral called the Milky Way. I mean, have seen pictures of galaxies. They're all spirals. And our Earth is turning, and we're moving around the sun, and then there's this big kind of spiral thing that's happening. So as we go through those sine waves and we get to the bottom, and then we have enough courage, or we have enough energy, or we have enough spiritual stuff stored up, or we're really listening and to what we're doing here and going, oh, right, I need to in this moment do X, Y, and Z. Well, then as you loosen up that ego attachment, right, that's pulling you down, you loosen it up. You get free to be like, oh my gosh, you get your ahas. And it's like, that's what that meant. Or someone is going to say something to you. Or you're going to open a book and it's going to say it right there. You're like, oh, that's what that's about. Most of it is pretty personal, is what I'm finding. It's a personal choice to ascend. And we're going to talk about another little hack on how to do that. But the reason that we want to surrender and surrender, ascend and is this is the path towards self-realization. Those kind of ahas add up. And sometimes you get the big one where you're like, I'm never doing that again. Just not. You get it. And sometimes there's the little minute ones. So, what characterizes 5D? Okay. For me, I know, and I learned this when I was a 20-something-year-old, it's all about service to others. Now, others can include you, meaning taking care of your vehicle, taking care of the things around you so that they don't fall to ruin and create more energy drain. But it's this idea that we're doing this, number one, to awaken. Why is that a service to others? Because if this beautiful group of us awakens, we're a pod. And that pod is very strong. The IC is a very strong vibration. And I know this because when we all align, bang, I feel energy popping around in this room. And even to the point where I've linked in with you in other places and that energy's come alive. So I know that we have something here. So service to others, either you individually moving out into the world with your work or with your volunteer or reaching out to someone who's, not doing well, um, animals, the earth, the planet, service to others. And 5D is self-realized, like you realize, oh my gosh, I am simple. And then you go, yeah, unity, unification with all beings, love, the ability to love unconditionally, peace. I am peace, peace. Now. So it's like it's that wandering up and then coming right back to now. It's getting no, well, I see myself doing it all day long. It's kind of funny. And then, of course, there's kindness and gratitude. And, every once in a while, I just, you know, feel like, oh my gosh, what's happening here? How come this is happening? And then I just go, stop. And I look around and I go, I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for where I live and so grateful for the beautiful beings around me and so grateful for our work and so grateful that I get to do the work I get to do to make a living. It's amazing. And then we have 5Ds is a lot about yes. Just saying yes to life, yes to the unfolding. And it's yes to the I am and that realization. And then here from these things that we enact during our series of unfolding moments, we become timeless. And even if it's just for that nano moment, nano moment that we get the link, the aha, where the mind stops and maybe a smile comes on the face, you know, because we feel the truth and the reality of it all. So you did you see that list? Now, do you see how you all are already living 5D now as well? Maybe not in every moment, but you are. And I want you just to acknowledge that right now. Like, oh, I'm already living 5D in a 3D world. And sometimes we feel ourselves in 5D New Earth. We've had those moments with this group. And it's always a blessing. And it's love. It's love. So, okay, so here's the deal. You're toggling between the two. You're a bridge, and you're not only being a bridge for you, you're being a bridge for others. You know, you're being a bridge maybe to your animals, to your relationship, to your friends, to your workmates, to your clients and patients, um, to those who are affected by your craft, you know, if it's writing or art or any of those kind of things. Being in the world, you're being a bridge when you are able to get the aha. And even if someone probably watches you move through a 3D ego burst, I call them, or an ego bruise. Love those words. Um, and someone watches you do it, they go, wow. And it informs them just by watching you. So as you go through these sine waves, which you are the manifestation of those sine waves. And those sine waves are possibility turned into probability. So we have this probability manifest here. This is a little bit of physics term, but we have our intentions. So we have this possibility, these possibility waves. And those can overlap with the probability and steer the beautiful journey of our spiral. So it's all very close, and it's now, and it's now, and it's now, right here, right now. Now, here's what I started doing. because some things happened in over the weekend. Some people told me some things, and they kind of like, on my journey, I'm kind of on a very strong path right now. And some people said some things, and I was really in my 3D mind trying to work through how to work through. And finally, my 5D self, well, it occurred to me that I was being very 3D in all of this. And so what I literally did is I turned the dial and I felt the strength and the nowness, the centeredness of my 5D self. And it just really not only advised the 3D self, 3D mind, that there wasn't going to be a solution, that it couldn't control a situation, that certain things weren't going to change, um, involving, other people in the world, and that it was time to come back to now. And I literally went like that, just turn the dial. And then when I did that and got to here now, then the advice was interesting. Absolutely turn in a metaphorical way to that 3D self and go, I'm sending you love. I love you unconditionally. All that you're trying to work out, I'm sorry, epigenetic lines, karmic lines, past life, all that, it's all in that. And you just need love. And so I just sent unconditional love to the 3D self and the 3D mind. So from this new position, it's kind of like a little click. And then here's what was interesting. So a lot of when I process, because I'm so busy during the day, I process a lot of the unconscious stuff. It's like, okay, you want another layer? Here you go. It happens at night. And so I did this, I figured out this work and I knew I wanted to share it with you. Well, then I fell asleep and I had a dream. And there were certain really interesting things that were happening in this dream, but one of them was that someone took a picture of me, kind of standing over there, with the kind of a group of people. And guess what showed up in that photo? Two of me, dressed exactly the same. One was slightly behind the other. And I'm like, oh my God, there it is. There's the proof. So, in a way, my unconscious manufactured an image to give me that sense to encourage that process. And I wanted to encourage you as well. So, you know, we get stuck. Ego fear, ego bruise, someone hurts your feelings, ego burst, rah. Yeah, it just happens. And sometimes we boo-hoo, and sometimes we're just running around shaking. Sometimes, ah, rah, rah. But maybe less and less as this is going on. But you are here. So here's the cool thing. 5D self is timeless, forward and backward. Now, what does this mean for us? I don't even call it the past and the future. I just say forward and backward. Because as you move backward, you can go back to past manifestations of the illusion, childhood, we'll say, and you can go back and be present there and actually rewire it, rework it. I've done it so many times. And what it does is it just ripples through till now. It's very, very interesting. And sometimes, let's say I'm thinking, like that tragedy and that happened. And you could go, well, I wish that would have never happened. Well, from that timeless travel, I saw the why of, say, why that happened, and the aha, and the how it set up things for now. And so you get that, not only do you get the understanding, you get resolution, you get peace. Now, sometimes because that 5D self is timeless, what it does is it gives us in that little click forward, it gives us it almost has an oversight of what's going on, and it's going to say, no, no, don't do that. You're going to get that, no, no, don't do that. And you're going, okay, I just got another big click. And it basically is saying, I see it all right now. Your ego's going to steer you to go over here, but if you listen, you're going to get the no, no, no. And you pause. You go, okay, then what? And you get a different pathway. Now, why do you get to have this? Because you've done a lot of work and because we don't want you using any of the energy that you accumulate through all your work. See, that energy is what gives you the ability to see, oh, I'm in an ego burst. People who are really, 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 really depleted, they can't see it. So all these things that we are doing here is to accumulate energy so that we can keep seeing those little micro, those micro uh, adjustments to staying on that curve, right? Those micro adjustments staying on that curve. Maybe we'll call them nano corrections. I like that. Tiny, tiny, tiny. So what's interesting too, so you'll have access to the next moments of now, and this can serve as your guidance. So it's an interesting thing that happened, and I'll see if I can put this in terms of uh, I was playing tennis. And so there's this moment where, one person's going to serve. So say I'm going to serve. And I shifted to 5D now in my consciousness like this, turn the dial just like that. And my 5D now knew what the next thing that was going to happen as I served the ball. And it informed me to move forward. And there was a feeling that went with that. Now, did I really do that the whole? No. I mean, I did it when I could remember, but it was practice and it wanted to show me. And I could feel this self that was all informed about this very, 3D thing called tennis and, you know, competition, whatever. But it's interesting in tennis or something like that because there is competition, there is ego, there is performance, there is movement, there's this and that. There are so many lessons that come through for it around that. And so, how to be present, present, present without getting down if you miss a shot. Go on to the next moment, right? And this is life. Okay. So I want us all to take a moment now. And I want you to go up like this. And I want you to actually reach up and turn the dial slightly to the right. So put your right hand up, turn the dial, and go up, in the area of your crown chakra, let's say, crown chakra, or your third eye. It's kind of somewhere in here. And you turn it and you pause. You may even feel what I call the wisdom self come into focus. So, whereby we, have utilized Sono as a guide for us, a channel, you have it as well. You have it. And it may very well be your track, but you'll also get guidance that'll just come through for other people because they're in your reality. This happens to me all the time in work. But you turn the dial and you get that sense of, and then you just send love to any part of you that is struggling. Love, 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 love. Now, the other thing you can do, so if you switch to that, you can put an intention there. Like I could have put an intention to have a really good serve so that when I would throw the ball up, I'd throw it up in the illusion exactly where I needed to and move around and hit that ball geometrically perfect with the right amount of spin, whatever. And if you really are, wanting to know what I'm talking about, watch some tennis now because Wimbledon starts today. And it's amazing what those beings do with their bodies. You will be blown away. How they get from over there all the way over there in time for that ball and then to hit it while watching. I really believe now when I watched that some of them have developed that oversight. So they actually see where that other person's coming in and they know to hit it there. It's a very interesting thing because it's one-on-one or sometimes it's two-on-two. So when you add those intentions in, add them in for flow and grace. Just say, okay, right now I'm turning the dial to 5D, now self. And I'm going to just say, I've got some things to handle today, and I'm going to just be guided to do them, to make the right decisions, to call the right people, to be thoughtful. Just put those in right now. Let's all just do it. Let's turn the dial. And as I do that, because I definitely have some major minutiae to handle today, I can see almost people on the other line, like I might have to make some phone calls. I see it already affecting them in a positive way. It's really interesting. Yep. And I just got confirmation energetically. Yep. And as you do that, look at the 3D self and go like that. You're going to be fine. And it's funny. Where I live, there are lots of hawks this year. Oh my gosh. And so whenever I say something or think something that's kind of important, they start their calls out there. So we were having some affirmation calling from one of I call them my pet hawks. So then, okay, but you're moving around now, okay? And so let's practice being in 5D. A lot of times I just go, now what? Because I'm here right now. And I go, okay, now what? And I go, and then something comes through for me. It's an inclination or it's information or it's a an action that needs to be taken. So now what? Pause, then listen. And you might feel like, I'm gonna go put all the dishes away. That was your now what? And it's not a chore. No, it's coming from your guidance. And every time you say now what, so you're saying now what? And I could almost put a little comma there between now and what. Now what? And it says, well, I have an answer for you because I'm 5D and I'm coming through. How about doing this? How about doing nothing? How about a pause? And then sometimes you're going to get a chunk come through, because it sees beyond time, and you're going to get a guidance. And you're like, oh, I need to handle that. Now, it does require surrender. And here we are again with that beautiful word, a moment of surrender. Moment of surrender. hmm Because you're not allowing your mind to be the boss. You're allowing well, you're calling in your 5D quantum mind, the all-seeing mind, the all-knowing, to come in with some flow and grace if it's the right moment and give you a little nudge. And this is like our process, you know, how we go through, this awakening process. So if 3D's gotcha and you're feeling stuck, turn the die to 5D self. Send unconditional love to the habit of the 3D self that wants to control and keep you anchored in 3D survival, ego, righteous, fear, control, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Just turn the dial. So that's one thing you can do. You can be standing there and in your mind go like that. I can see us all in a store, and we can't find something. We're like, oh yeah, everybody does the hand. Like, why are those people doing that with their hands? But I use, because these are mudras, we use the mudras. And one of the spiritual hacks that I'm talking about is in that moment where I get really incensed about something, let's say that I hear on the radio, and I start, and then I go, and I spiral up. Yes, I want to judge that person for doing those things that are not helping others. Or I mean, you just hear news all the time, and I stop and I spiral up, and then I go on and then ask, how can I be of service? When you're stuck, look for 3 things around you to be grateful for. I mean, you can just say, wow, I have flowers on my table and really nice glass of water here. Some people don't have a clean glass of water to drink out of. And I'm not boiling to death. Wow. 3 things to be grateful for. And if you feel like going to 10, do it, because that will just immediately get you back to 5D. It will. When you're stuck in a 3D rut, practice non-attachment. And here's some of the things that I'm kind of getting nudged to say in certain situations. You go first. Oh, you choose. Okay, let go, let God. All right, I surrender. Love, love, love. And then I like this one. Whatever. Whatever. And then I just let it go. And oh my gosh, it feels so much better. And there's not that instinct to be right. If I start to feel like, well, I'm right here, I'm kind of knowing that it's a no. Okay. As you practice, you will see those stuck moments posing as space-time illusion. And you'll see them. As you see that, you will see them as your gateway to self-attainment. Now, I know that seems strange, but let's think through this. You're the sine wave. You do a dip down, and it's metaphorical, but you can feel something, a heaviness in your body, or something like that, or you're not getting what you want. But but you wake up and you see that you're having a stuck moment, and that once again you're hooked into to space-time illusion. Oh, and then you just go, well, if nothing else, I'm just going to see it and nod my head and say yes. And maybe let go or surrender. And then the next moment, you may pick it right back up. But all of those seeing of stuck moments, when you see a stuck moment, you liberate it and you take yourself up another notch to the ascension process into self-attainment. And then you begin to operate as a 5D quantum mind and the seer of all. And this is, this is a ways off, or it could be tomorrow, or it could be in this next moment. But in other words, don't have expectations about this. We're we're winding, we're winding through all the very interesting lessons we signed up for. And as we get these little attainment moments, we'll call them, it not only helps you in the spiral, but you become, in that moment, an anchor for the new earth to bleed through a little bit more. And of course, you doing this work is absolutely affecting the people around you in a positive way, whether they know it or not. And there's someone that joins us, and from time to time, and she was telling me that her husband now is coming to her and talking to her about all these things. She didn't initiate it, but he's in the field and they're having these great conversations. So, and I really, this is all, if I'm going to hang with my pals, this is what I want to talk about. This is what I want to investigate. This is what I want to live and enjoy and share. But this is what we're working towards, is becoming seers and knowers. Your quantum mind will offer you access to your next expression of ascension in the moment. So allow it to come through into consciousness for you and for the good of all. And then you embrace this possibility that we're talking about here. This is a possibility. It's a possibility wave and many possibilities. This day could unfold in any number of ways, but as we intend beautiful possibilities, they will commingle and shape your probability waveform as a human being manifesting on an earth that looks 3D. And as it comes through, and as those mitigate, as that possibility of ascension and intention towards and goodwill towards all interlocks with your probability wave, it will shape it and it will be so. And then as you're doing this, you just add the love, 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 love. And then you're good to go. So maybe when you wake up in the morning, just say, I intend to really drop into my 5D self as much as possible, moment by moment, in this beautiful manifestation of reality that I'm witnessing today. Yeah. And when we can do that, and we're going to do a little bit of this now, expand your presence and observe the all and open to the all coming to you. You see, we think, well, we have to go to God or go in it. No, we need to allow our cognition and our quantum mind to receive the expression and experience of the all and the oneness, and allow it to come to you. Allow the goodness and the grace to come to you and receive it. You deserve it. So let's take a few moments here and let's close our eyes. And open to the beautiful, gorgeous expression of you. Expand into and beyond what you perceive here right now. And allow our hearts to join in this love, 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 love. Allow our hearts to enjoy the joy of the expansion of each of us through our presence and our ability to really love and be loved. The word that comes in here, beautiful beings, is awaken. It is 24 on the right towards Springfield. Awaken. Left is 24 on the right. 1,000 feet. Keep left towards Springfield. Town. As you meditate, expand to become the self, the all seeing and all knowing self. Give this gift to yourself in this moment. The all seeing and all knowing self. And yes, today we share through the heart. Love, 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 love. Love, love, love. And just feel that sink into you and permeate your all seeing, all knowing self, expanding out through what you call your universe. Love, 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 love. And then just this word, self, 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 self. And here's where you get to own self. All seeing, all knowing self. And just gently nod now. A sublime yes. Hmm. Sublime yes. Mm-hmm. Mm. Mm. Allowing that self permission to come forth and be here now. Yes. 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 And feel the power and the empowerment of this. Yes. The power and the empowerment to do good in the world, to be of service, to love and be loved, to receive all, to know yourself as one. And with this, we're being asked to expand and ascend further to 6D as vibrational anchors for 5D. The network. the new matrix of unconditional love and connection. No, no, no. And they're telling me, they're saying, you see, 5D is just your stepping stone. 5D is just your stepping stone into the work that we will be doing. Mm-hmm. And last, love, 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 love. Allow ourselves to be infiltrated with this seventh dimensional offering to us. Mhm. Thus it is so. And thus we shall be and are and always have been in our eternal, timeless manifestation of self. Mhm. Once again, dear beings, we have expanded through the illusion. Un poquito. Poquito. Hmm. And now we need to bring it into daily life. That's the real work, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it is.
Okay. So here's what we're going to do. This is your marching orders today. And every moment that follows from this moment, and until we meet again. Ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, we know that, Phil. We can hear you. Okay, you're going to observe the 3D ego bursts. You're going to send love to your 3D self. Probably you're going to have to do that, some of that past manifestation. And then you remember, you're going to turn the dial to 5D. Just one little click. You're gonna open to, okay, what's next? Practice gratitude when 3D gets a little shaky. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to others. Practice non-attachment. Whatever. I like being a little sassy once in a while. I don't like this to be too serious. Let there be light, correct? Be of service. Small ways count. Tune in and ask, well, what can I do? So a lot of times, I hear of situations or read about things. And sometimes what I can do is I can donate some money. Sometimes what I can do is intend the best. Sometimes what I can do is let 3D go. There's a lot going out there in the 3D world, and I have to just go, there's a plan in this somehow. I don't get it. There's a plan, but let me know if there's something I need to do. Believe in your self-awakening. We took it up a notch today. I hope you felt it. I did. I felt you feeling it, and I felt it in the room. And then when you can be one with a smile, I gotta say, I think I ran into this one baby in two different situations. And this baby did not blink. And this baby had the most gorgeous blue eyes. And it just looked at me. And it didn't move its head. And I saw the oneness in that baby. When I see that in babies, I just say a prayer that no one messes this up. Because that oneness I'm seeing in that baby's eyes, that's our future. Praise be. So when you see that in someone, it's been real, just upsets me so much. I've spent a lot of time in Mexico, and there are so many people in Mexico. I see that light in their eyes because they so believe in God, and they're kind, and they have to work together to live. Well, this is why it really upsets me what's going on, you know, in our country right now. But when you see that in someone, and you know, smile back. Be the one with the one and smile back. Okay. All right, beautiful beings. Thank you for up leveling to 5. And we went to 60 today, that crystalline frequency. This is what we really have to be holding more and more. And we have to become those 60 crystalline beings. That's just what we have to do. And we're doing it. And so really what happens is when we gather, I go, okay, what are we doing now? And they're like, well, this is what I did yesterday. It's like you're pulling from what you experience, in your life. And you look at those and you're like, those are my gorgeous, delicious lessons. And then you apply here. And it might help you to go look at this video again, and especially towards the back of it, because things are really specific there about what you need to do. And so we shall meet again and continue in your gorgeous, beautiful journey. Love, love, love to you. Love, 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 love to you. And when we say that, that's like so here we are. We shift to 5D, turn the dial. And I didn't have a plan for this, but all of a sudden the 6D started happening because we can do that together, especially when we have when we have 8 or more. We do that quite readily and easily. And then this is where that 7D frequency comes in, and that 6D can hold us. That 6D can hold that seventh dimensional love and vibrate out. And then we move it out into our world and we receive it back in from the oneness. So receive it back in and share it. All right. Namaste.